Hello, hello, hello. My name is Steven, and this is the Weekly Cut, where I stay up to date on movie news so you don't have to. And starting this week, I'm going to start with what I watched the previous week. Let's see. I watched Wheelman, a Netflix original movie. Came out on the 20th, last Friday. I watched 1922, also a Netflix original, came out last Friday. That's a Stephen King adaptation. Watched Halloween 2, Halloween 3 again. Saw 2, Saw 3, and Saw 4 because I was going to watch Jigsaw last night. But I decided against it since I had a test today that I need to study for. Out of all of those movies that I watched, I would recommend Wheelman. Like I said, that's on Netflix right now. It's a thriller, all pretty much filmed in one car. You should definitely check that out. And let's move on to box office. Boo 2, Medea's Halloween, came in at number 1 with $21 million. Geostorm came in with $13 million at number 2. Happy Death Day still chugging along with $9 million. At number 3, Blade Runner 2049, sadly dwindling out. Number 4 at the box office was $7 million. And then number 5, which opened last weekend, was Only the Brave, which was the only fresh reviewed movie that came out last weekend. And it made $6 million. Let's move on. Okay, so Regal has announced that starting in 2018 in select markets, they're going to experiment with charging more for tickets during peak movie times. So like during the summer, let's say they charge, let's say that the standard is like $11. So let's say that they'll charge, as an example, like $15 for you to go see Deadpool 2 or Jurassic World 2. And then they're going to charge less at times when attendance tends to be lighter. So like January. So let's say for, this doesn't come out for a while, but just an example, Glass is going to be coming out in January 2019. So let's say maybe we'll pay like $5 for Glass or something. I think this is very interesting, and I want to see. I doubt that it'll open up. I mean, this experiment will happen anywhere around me, since I live in Virginia and not LA or New York or like Seattle. And the CEO of Regal, Amy Miles, didn't say how many theaters she was going to try it in or what the prices are going to be, or if it would, or if Regal would use such model to charge different prices for hits or duds. So like maybe if you wanted to go see Geostorm or The Snowman, then you would pay like $3 or something. Yeah, so I think this is pretty interesting, considering that the price of movies it seems to be going up, and but the box office for movies is slowly going down, and the markets, like the stocks for AMC and like Regal, have been going down since box office has been suffering. Let's move on. Josh Brolin says that the sequel for Sicario is going to be more severe and bigger than the first movie, so that's interesting. The internet kind of freaked out about this when it was announced this week. A Dora the Explorer movie is in the works, with Michael Bay not directing. Oh my gosh, producing. That was later. They later stepped back and just announced that Michael Bay is not directly producing. It's his production company, Platinum Dunes, which has not made a single good movie in my mind. They made like the Friday the 13th reboot, then a Nightmare on Elm Street reboot, and a lot of horror remakes that have not been good. And I believe that they're also they're also a production company that deals with the Purge series, which is not good. But yeah, it says, this article from the Hollywood Reporter says that Nick Stoller, who was the writer, director behind The Muppets and Neighbors and last year's Storks, he's been brought on to the project to work on the script, and we'll see. The article doesn't say, but we'll see about him directing. I think this is very interesting. I feel like this could make a lot of money if it was done right. It doesn't say whether it's gonna be live action or not. Oh, I lied. It says details are being kept under wraps, but the live action take is said to center on Dora, not as a 7-year-old, as on the TV series, but now as a teenager who moves to the city to live with her cousin Diego. Yeah, okay. I changed my mind. This doesn't sound good. Sounds like it's going like a Smurfs route. Moving to the big city and like taking the Smurfs, like they took the Smurfs out of their natural environment. Like it's taking Dora at no. This is gonna be like a fish out of water story. No, I don't think anyone wants to see that. Anyway, so Lethal Weapon 5 has gotten some traction this week. Deadline reports that Mel Gibson and Danny Glover and Richard Donner are huddling together on the possibility of doing another film in the franchise. I haven't seen any of the Lethal Weapon movies yet. I hear that they're very good. They're all on my list, but I just haven't gotten around to it. I think this would be very interesting because I haven't seen Danny Glover like be the lead in anything in a while, and then of course Mel Gibson is a big time director now with Hacksaw Ridge and so on. But yeah, I mean, I can't really say much because I haven't seen any of the Lethal Weapon movies. So yeah. It was announced this week that Renee Zellweger will be playing Judy Garland at the tail end of her career in the new movie directed by Rupert Gold. I don't know much about Judy Garland's career outside of The Wizard of Oz. Oh, and if you didn't know, Judy Garland is the actress that played Dorothy in The Wizard of Oz. So her career post Wizard of Oz, seeing a movie on that sounds, I don't know, not really sure. I mean, we'll see. Some pictures came out this week of Christian Bale as Dick Cheney for the new, for his newest movie directed by Adam McKay, the director of The Big Short and Step Brothers and such. And then another picture came out. These aren't first look pictures or anything. These are like leaked photos from a set that someone just took. Like, yeah, that obviously was not supposed to be taking them. But yeah, they've gained traction online. And one as Amy Adams as Dick Cheney's wife is out, and Christian Bale looks completely unrecognizable. He looks like Gary Oldman in The Darkest Hour as Winston Churchill. He looks, you honestly cannot tell that is Christian Bale, and it's insane. So I guess he gained a lot of weight for this role. which he's known to do. He did The Machinist, where he lost like 200 pounds and was like 94 pounds. And then he had to do another Batman movie right after that, where he had to gain a lot of muscle. So definitely go to my website, cutblackfilm.com, and look at the show notes for this episode, and look at these pictures, because look at a side-by-side between of Christian Bale and this picture of him as Dick Cheney. You cannot tell that is him, but he also doesn't. He looks more like John McCain than he does Dick Cheney in these pictures. But anyway, he doesn't look like himself. Aquaman wrapped filming on the 21st. Let's see what else. Jeffrey Dean Morgan addressed whether he will be Batman in a Flashpoint movie or not. He basically said he doesn't know. But the reason why he's been asked this, and why he addressed this, is because in the comics, Flash runs so fast around the Earth, he like goes back in time, and into like an alternate universe where Thomas Wayne, Bruce Wayne's father, is actually a Batman. And if you saw Batman versus Superman, Jeffrey Dean Morgan played Thomas Wayne, and and then obviously Jeffrey Dean Morgan plays Negan in The Walking Dead, and he was the comedian in Watchmen. So he's very popular. He's a good actor. So, I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing him play Batman in a Flashpoint movie. I think that'd be pretty cool. But he says for right now he doesn't know. But also, there's no script or director attached to Flashpoint right now. So, I mean, maybe in a couple months I might be talking about how he is going to be playing Batman in Flashpoint. J.K. Simmons says that Justice League 2 is being written. No surprise there. Fandango confirmed that Justice League has a runtime of an hour. I mean, not an hour. 2 hours and 1 minute. This is the shortest DC EU movie to date, with Justice League. With Suicide Squad being 123, so just 2 minutes over this, and then Batman versus Superman was 151 minutes, and Man of Steel 143, and Wonder Woman was 141. Gareth Evans is in talks to direct a Deathstroke movie. And at the time, it was unknown if Joe Manganiello would be attached, because he has previously been attached to be in the Batman solo movie. But as of today, he tweeted a picture of the eye of the Deathstroke mask, which is pretty interesting, which basically kind of answers the question that he is going to be attached to the Deathstroke movie. I think Gareth Evans is a wonderful choice. I've been wanting him to do something big budget and like more studio driven, a studio project for a while, because he did The Raid and The Raid 2, and I haven't seen The Raid 2 yet, but The Raid is a terrific, perfect action movie. Oh my gosh. It's a very low budget too. When they were talking about directors for a Batman solo movie, I thought that Gareth Evans would be a wonderful choice for that. But I mean, this makes more sense. And with the DC, with DC saying that they're going to have like a spin-off universe with like a Joker standalone movie and such. This makes sense because he could do a Deathstroke movie for less money, like he did with The Raid, and make it more violent and R-rated if necessary, and it could make a lot of money because Gareth Evans is a wonderful director. But this isn't completely confirmed right now because he's just in early talks, apparently. And Mad Max Fury Road's moving on. Mad Max Fury Road's costume designer joined the Gambit movie. I thought this was pretty cool considering I'm pretty sure Mad Max Fury Road won an Oscar for costume design. This week it was put out there that the script for the Logan spinoff movie focusing on X-23 is going to be happening. I'm pretty sure, I thought this was already announced, but I guess it's just confirmation. But yeah, James Mangold, said the director of Logan, said that this movie is going to happen now and it's in the works. He said that he's not going to be directing, but he is working on the script. So he might just be writing and in a producer role. Let's see what else. Ben Mendelsohn, who was in Bloodline and who was in Bloodline and Rogue One. That's the other one that he was in. He was in Rogue One and Bloodline. He is in talks to be the villain for Captain Marvel. That's pretty interesting. I think it's cool because he has already worked. I'm guessing he's in talks because he was already directed by the directors of Captain Marvel in a movie called Mississippi Grind, which I haven't seen yet. Heard mixed things about it. Yeah, I think it's kind of weird because Ben Mendelsohn, he continues to play villains in movies, and it seems like he's just gonna keep getting typecast as villain. I'm pretty sure he plays a villain in Ready Player One, and obviously he was a villain in Rogue One. And then now he's gonna be a villain in Captain Marvel. And yeah, I mean, I just kind of want to see him do something new. But maybe I should check out Mississippi Grind, and he'll be. Hopefully, he doesn't play a villain in that. So the Venom movie, I've talked about this pretty much every week since it started the weekly cut. The Venom movie, starring Tom Hardy as Venom, has started production. He shared a picture on Twitter today. Well, not today, but on the 24th, on Tuesday. And that's scheduled for an October 5th, 2018 release. And in an interview, Andy Serkis may have accidentally revealed that Tom Hardy will use performance capture in the movie. That's pretty cool. Hopefully, Andy Serkis is giving him some pointers on what to do, since Tom Hardy has never done motion capture before. And Andy Serkis is the king of motion capture. But, I mean, we'll see. Hopefully that turns out well. I have a lot of hopes in Tom Hardy and the Venom movie because of the casting. And, yeah, we'll see. We'll see in a year from now. Gerald Butler says that Angel Has Fallen is the series Logan. He says, quote, "You know what's fun to watch a city falling or the White House falling, and it's fun to watch it again. And you know what? The joke would be, what's next? Tokyo? Okay. So let's take it in another direction and go inner world." And it just feels a little more surprising. It almost feels like Logan was to Wolverine is our Angel Has Fallen was to the first two. End quote. Um, not sure. Well, I mean, everyone makes that joke that says, okay, so which one is next? Which city is next? Um, and I don't know what he. I'm not. I, Logan was so different because it was so dark. It was R rated, and yeah, but all of these movies, they're not supposed to be dark. They're supposed to be like hokey B movies that you can just go and watch and just eat popcorn, basically. Not just, yeah, they're not dark, serious movies. So Angel Has Fallen is going to be a lot different. Saying that it's going to be a lot different is kind of weird. Let's move on. The director of Pacific Rim Uprising, Stephen S. DeKnight, says that it is possible for us to get a Godzilla Kong Pacific Rim crossover, but not before Pacific Rim 3. Okay. So, once Godzilla versus King Kong was announced, I thought immediately, oh my god, they should do Pacific Rim versus Godzilla versus King Kong, because that would be amazing. Everyone would go see that. Even me, who didn't like Pacific Rim, and I'm definitely not going to go see Pacific Rim Uprising because that looks super bad. That looks like garbage. But he says that this wouldn't happen before Pacific Rim 3. That's kind of jumping the gun because Pacific Rim Uprising hasn't even come out. And let's just see what's going to happen before we start talking about Pacific Rim 3 and these crossovers. If anything, you should have done right after King Kong versus Godzilla. That should be your sequel to that movie, Pacific Rim versus King Kong versus Godzilla. Because, like I said, I would watch that. I know a lot of people would watch that. Pacific Rim 2 doesn't look good. Pacific Rim 3, I just hope that doesn't even happen because this first one wasn't good. The second one doesn't look good. So hopefully we never get to that point, even though, I mean, we won't get to the point of this crossover because Pacific Rim 3 probably won't happen because the first Pacific Rim didn't even do that well in the box office, I believe. Let me double check on that before I just go talking about it. But I'll look that up while I'm talking about this next topic. Terminator 6 is going to be starting shooting in March. That's pretty cool. Let me see. Pacific Rim. While I'm looking this up, let's talk about some casting news. Adam Driver is going to be playing a Jewish undercover cop in Spike Lee's Black Klansman. And then we got the actress from Spider-Man Homecoming who played Peter Parker's love interest. Let's see if I can pronounce her name. Laura Harrier. She also got cast in the movie. Pacific Rim had a budget of $190 million, and it made $101 million domestically. But it made, I see why it got a sequel. It made $309 million domestically. That's a lot of money. And so it made $411 million worldwide. But domestically, it didn't make sense for a sequel, since it didn't even make its production budget back here in the States. So, I mean, like I said, we'll see how the second one goes to see if we can even get a third one and then get this crossover. But anyway, yeah. So yeah, Black Klansman, Laura Harrier and Adam Driver cast in the movie. If you haven't heard about this movie, it sounds like it's going to be super good. Um, it's being produced by Jordan Peele, who directed Get Out, which I think is I feel like I say it every week. It's the best movie of the year so far, and it's going to be produced and directed by Spike Lee. And it tells this true story of a black man, Ron Stallworth, who infiltrated the KKK. Um, in Here's the synopsis. In 1978, Stallworth answered an ad in the local newspaper seeking new Klan members. He not only gained membership, but rose through the ranks to become the head of the local chapter. Stallworth, who is black, was able to gather all sorts of intelligence by pretending to be a white supremacist on the phone or via other forms of correspondence, but sent a white fellow officer in his place for any in-person meetings. During his undercover work, Stallworth managed to sabotage several cross burnings and other activities of the notorious hate group. Stallworth is a real person, like I said. It's based on a true story. He wrote a book in 2014 called Black Klansman on his experience. When this movie was announced, I was super ready for it. I'm ready for this movie right now. I think this sounds like my next favorite movie. I just wish I wish that Jordan Peele was directing this as his next movie after Get Out, but sadly he's not. I just, the fact that this is a true story and not fictional is insane. That this actually happened is so cool to me. But yeah, anyway, this sounds really cool. I'm really excited about this casting news because Laura Harrier was good in Spider-Man Homecoming, even though the movie wasn't good. And Adam Driver is good actor. Yeah, he's just a good actor. I'll just leave it at that. Let's see what else we've got here. Guillermo del Toro says that he's taking a year off from directing, so he's taking a break. 47 Meters Down is getting a sequel. Guess what it's called? 48 Meters Down. Yeah, the first one made some money. It made good enough money to warrant a sequel. And the director is going to be coming back for this one, and it's set to hit theaters June 28th, 2019. And this one is going to be following, instead of 2 girls, it's going to be following 5 girls in Brazil. So if you liked 47 Meters Down, then get hyped for the sequel coming out in 2019. Let me see. So there's this movie that got announced this week that's going to be directed by one of the writers of Girls Trip, Tracy Oliver. She's going to be making her directorial debut with a music-themed horror thriller called Survive the Night, which Pharrell Williams will produce for Warner Brothers. Let me see if I got the synopsis. No, I can't find the synopsis right now. Moving on. Fast and Furious 9 is going to be bringing back Justin Lin as the director. And he's going to be directing Fast and Furious 10. He directed, Let me see. Let me pull up his IMDb. I know he's a huge producer on the franchise. He also directed Fast 6. He directed Fast and Furious. He directed Fast and Furious Tokyo Drift. He's set to be directing Space Jam 2 and Hot Wheels. He also directed Star Trek Beyond. I mean, this is cool news, I guess. I feel like no matter who's directing the Fast and Furious movies, they're gonna make $1 billion because that's just the kind of movies that they are. And it was also announced that Jordana Brewster will return to the series as Mia. Let me see what else. Director David F. Sandberg has confirmed that Shazam is going to be released in April 2019. Yep, he confirmed it on Reddit. That's all there. I'm excited about that movie because David F. Sandberg is a wonderful director. And if you haven't seen his short films if you haven't seen his YouTube in general, if you haven't seen his YouTube channel in general, you should check it out. There's a lot of behind the scenes stuff. He posts short films with his wife, and yeah, they're really good. And he seems like a really cool guy. And David, if you're listening somehow, we should meet. Moving on, A24 has announced, they have scheduled 2 untitled horror films for March 2018 and in April 2018. I think this is very interesting because It Comes at Night was released this year, and if any of you have seen it, there were very mixed feelings on this movie. I had mixed feelings on why it was wide released. If you've seen this movie, you know that it is not a wide released movie. People were very mad coming out of the theater because they expected something different. They expected a more typical horror film when this is a very art house kind of movie. So if you want to watch It Comes at Night on DVD or Blu-ray, or you want to rent it on Redbox, you should go into it knowing that is not your typical horror movie. It's a very slow movie. But people hear slow and they just stop. But if you are in for an art house slow horror movie, this is a very good one, and you should definitely watch it. Clint Eastwood's 1517 to Paris is going to be coming out in February of 2018. An IMAX poster for Justice League came out, and it's not very good. A trailer came out for Phantom Thread, which is Paul Thomas Anderson's newest movie with, and supposedly Daniel Day-Lewis's last movie. The trailer doesn't really grab me, but because of the director's past filmography and Daniel Day-Lewis being attached, I'm going to go see it no matter what. A trailer for Bright came out. The second trailer for Bright, which is a movie directed by David Ayer, who I think is still a very good director, regardless of Suicide Squad. I feel like I'm not going to blame him for Suicide Squad. I know the past behind Suicide Squad. So, he also directed End of Watch and Fury, which are very good movies. And this script is written by Max Landis, and it stars Will Smith. Based kind of like a Men in Black movie, besides dark. He's teaming up with a new cop who is an orc. Oh yeah, this is This is like a sci-fi fantasy movie. You should definitely check out this trailer. The music fits it for like the first half, and then the second half, it really doesn't. But it looks funny. It looks really interesting. It's coming out on Netflix. It's the most expensive movie that Netflix has made so far. And it comes out. It comes out on. It comes out in December. Yeah, it comes out in December. So I'll probably talk about that more toward its release date. But yes, you should definitely check out this trailer. Let me see what else. The trailer for Winchester, the house that Ghost built, that came out. Some breaking news. Let me look into this some more to confirm it. Actually, Zachary Levi is going to star in Shazam. Let me see. It says he will star in Shazam. This article from the Hollywood Reporter says that he will star in Shazam, but it doesn't say whether he's going to be Shazam or not. Well, okay. While that's loading, I'll keep talking about Winchester, the house that Ghost built. This trailer, that the premise sounds cool, and the fact that it's a true story is cool. So the premise is, and the real life story is that there was this widow who continued to get continue to get rooms built onto her house that just led to nowhere. And just like you would open the door and there would just be a wall, and doors that lead to rooms that just have a bunch of doors and stuff like that. So the premise sounds really cool and really creepy, but the trailer looks very typical, and there's at least like 3 jump scare moments in there. So yeah, wouldn't really recommend that trailer. But definitely watch Bright 2, the Bright trailer number 2. It says that Zachary Levi is going to be playing Shazam. This exclusive article from the Hollywood Reporter says that Zachary Levi is going to be Earth's mightiest mortal. So he's going to be playing Shazam, which is, I haven't seen him in anything, and it's not like he's a huge name. Other names that were in the mix, that were rumored for the role were John Cena, who apparently met with David F. Sandberg, and Derek Thier, Zane Holtz, Jake McDormand, and Billy Magnuson. He is, Zachary Levi he plays Chuck in the movie, and in the show Chuck. And I'm honestly not familiar with the rest of his work. That's a very interesting choice. You would think that they would go for like a huge name like John Cena, but I mean, I gotta trust in David F. Sandberg. He hasn't done anything bad so far to me, especially not casting wise. Okay, so closing out the show. Let's talk about what's opening this week. Jigsaw, which I touched on earlier, that came out last night, and that's playing obviously throughout the weekend. Last night it made 1.6 million in previews. And let's see what else is coming out this weekend. Thank You for Your Service, the new Miles Teller movie, and Suburbicon. And out of these, Thank You for Your Service has the better percentage on Rotten Tomatoes. Obviously, that's not everything. But, I mean, and that does look interesting. Suburbicon, all of these movies really look interesting to me. I'm probably going to go see them all at some point. Thank you, MoviePass. But yeah, I'm probably the one I'm going to go see first is Jigsaw. And I'm pretty sure that's it for this week. Let me just double check all my stuff, all my notes. Yep, that's it. That's the end of the show. I hope that you'll join me here next week, same time, same place. And if you're not listening to this live, you can listen on radiofreeradford.com at 5 p.m. on Fridays. And you can find all the topics that I talked about today on my website, cuttoblackfilm.com. The link will be in the description of this video. And you can also find editorials that I write there. Those usually come out on Mondays. And as always, if you want to talk to me, then you can follow me on Twitter at cuttoblackfilm. Thank you so much for listening. I try to make it shorter so more would listen. Like I said, thank you. Thank you so much for listening. Bye until next week.